Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and welcome to episode 50 of the Satisfactory Let's Play Adventure Extravaganza, unless I cut the last episode into two parts. We need to talk, because I've been busy. I've been very busy. I've been trying to kill time. Basically, I feel, and I know it's fine, it's a legitimate strat, I could just walk away and leave the game running until this is done, and go do other things. But I do enjoy playing the game, and I enjoy tinkering with the setups, so I decided to not do that, and to instead, you know, have the game running, but also work on other things. So, one of the things that I worked on was, instead of having a single conveyor belt and a smart splitter, we now have 3 conveyor belts, one up top here for the screws / nails, which, as you can see, are moving along quite swimmingly. And I'm actually very pleased with how that's turned out. Looks like they're going along in a lovely flow. And I don't know if you noticed, but they did pause there for a second, which means that we are producing enough to build up a backlog, which we want to see. Now, every so often down here... Oh, did they freeze again? I think they might have. Every so often down here, you'll see something like I believe that's a rotor, or you'll see something like a cube, a modular frame, if you will. Also, P-diddle its way over here. That's not at all the term I wanted to use. That's great, though. Glad to see that. I also went ahead and split up the input coming from the steel facility. So we have 2 lines now, one for the steel pipes and one for the encased industrial beams. Now, the problem with steel pipes is that I realize we're not manufacturing enough of them. And we'll go over there and take a look at that here in a minute, but I don't think we can manufacture enough of them at the current steel facility. We don't have enough steel being manufactured at the steel facility right now. It's a bit of a problem. And what it all comes down to, if you backtrack it, it all comes down to coal. We're limited by coal. We have 1 coal tap over there, and we need to get a second one. I know there's one way the heck down there on the bridge, but we have got to get another one. Where's the closest one? Because we're just not... Until we get upgraded conveyor belts, which I think we get after we unlock the next level of the space elevator. But until then, we can't get faster conveyor belts. We cannot move coal faster. And therefore, you know, I mean, even if we built like a train system, I don't know how quick those can get. But you got to remember, we're limited by how quickly we can extract them from the miner. We can speed up the miner. Base level with no upgrades, it's going 480. We could speed it up further. But until we get the upgraded conveyor belts, we can only bring so much coal over there, meaning we can only make so much steel. I've got a little piece of... Is that pepper? It's pepper in my mouth. Just had me a meal. So that we can only go, you know, so far over there. So we're going to run out of these, and that's going to become a problem, and there's nothing we can do about that until we have, you know, manufactured. I might pull back production in other things. I might slow down production of the encased industrial beams. Or in fact, I don't even think I really need to do that, because this is full now, and you can see it's backed up. So as it backs up along the supply line, eventually we'll just have more metal being distributed over here to make these. So hopefully the way I've got the system set up, it'll account for those sorts of things. Maybe. Something it's not going to account for is we are not manufacturing enough plastic. I have to go deal with that next. That's my next goal. I also had to deal with not generating enough wire, and it looks like I've got that fixed. So I'm going to show you what I did to get that going. But yeah, we're topped off on wire now. We had a big wire problem. I didn't even realize. If you take a look in here, we're slowly building up a collection. But, I mean, I do mean slowly. Oh, yeah, this is a little bit different now, isn't it? A little bit different. I decided not to do a build log because I was listening to a little podcast, you know. Just having myself a little relaxing evening playing video games. And I thought, well, you know, we can do trial and error. This is a stack of resources I didn't have space for. We could do a little trial and error, and then I'll just show what I've come up with. So, this actually started as an experiment before I even realized we needed more wires. I was experimenting with machines, their clock speeds, and the upgrades. So we've known for a while, or we've theorized, I haven't actually looked, but we've theorized that if you add an upgrade, right? Like, look, right now it's 4 megawatts. So if we increase it to 150%, you would think if it scales linearly, it would consume 6. But if we crank it up, it goes up to 7.7, which means that this machine actually consumes more power. If we were to boost this to 200%, you know, let's go ahead and do that, it would consume more power, 12.1 to run at 200%, as opposed to just running 2 of these machines. Running 2 of these machines would use 8. So running one of these machines at 200% consumes the power of 3 of these machines, roughly. So it's actually better to build more machines. I mean, there's the bigger upfront costs of having to have the materials. Sure, I grant you that. But the heck? It's another piece of... I put too much pepper on my food. It's all up in my teeth and stuff. Ugh. So I decided to go a little bit further with my investigation and discovered that if you underclock these, guess what? It uses even less power. So you might as well, if you really want to save power on your grid, double up the number of machines you have. There's no reason not to. And just clock them all to 50%. Now, all of these are running at 100%. And I guess I should go ahead. We desperately needed wire. So what we've got here is I've kind of restructured this entire messy setup back here. And look, it's still a little bit messy, but it makes sense to me. And the great thing about this is there's no waste energy. A lot of the times we'll have these massive spikes in power usage as machines that weren't needed suddenly come online for just a second to dig up a little bit of material and then go back offline. This is all 1-to-1, right? So we're getting 60 here, another 60 there, 120 copper is being mined up, and it's going around here immediately into these bad boys, which are consuming 30, 60, 120. So it's 1-to-1. That's being spit out to 8. You see them, count them, 8 constructors, which are constructoring. Each one consumes 15 times 8. That's 120 again. So, wait, is it? 30, 60, 120. Yeah, it is. The basic math. Just if you know basic math, you got it covered. Good. So again, 1-to-1. It's all 1-to-1. You'll see a little bit of a backlog, and that was built up from me playing with the inputs and outputs of everything here. But for the most part, I mean, you saw when we were peeking inside of here, processes it, spits it out, another one comes in. It's all 1-to-1. They all get combined. And they go over here. We have 2 of these, and we might come back later and cut this down to 50% because we have too many cables. The only reason I'm currently producing more than I need is because I want to have a bit of a backlog in here so I can come and grab cables as I need them. So I'd like to see this fill up, but then after that, we could probably cut it to 50% and still be fine and be saving a ton of energy. Consumes 4. We can bring that down to, what was it, 1.7 or something like that at 50%? 1.3. 1.3, it's less than half. It's madness. So we might do that at some point in the future. But we got it all hooked up here with my super clever use of the mergers and splitters to make sure that each machine kind of always has the correct amount. And I learned a valuable lesson while working on this over here that I wish I'd realized and that I need to go implement into the steelworks and the ironworks. Extracting from the tops and the bottom of these things is not the same as using a splitter. It will not evenly send one out the top, one out the bottom, one out the top. It will prioritize the bottom, which means that if you're trying to evenly divide resources between 2 machines, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to work out. If you take a look at the power grid, I have upgraded the power grid. We'll talk about that here in a minute. In fact, we got to go over and build up some more stuff where we're currently working on steel because we need to have, or not steel, I'm sorry, oil. We need to have more plastic. But I did do some work over there, so we've got pretty good headroom right now. And if I go through like I'm thinking about doing, and I restructure a lot of the machine setups, we'll be even more energy efficient. And that's important to me because I want to make sure that we're, doing the best we can for this alien world. And, we're not oof. Okay, no, this is filling up. This is filling up slowly. I think we might have run out of the backlog back at the steel facility. But if this is backed up, I kind of want to go over there and check it real quick. Should we check and see how we're doing here? How everything's doing? I can tell you as soon as I get up here what it's going to look like. This is going to be out of plastic. Yep, that's the hold up here. And then this is going to be fine. It's just waiting for modular frames. We could speed up modular frame production. That's not a big deal. That's not a hassle. I kind of want to redo the ironwork all over again because with the things that I've learned now about, using multiple machines and evenly dividing up workflow, I mean, we can do an even better job. But I feel like I've already made 8 videos setting all that up over there. So it might be like another off video and then talk about it after. How are we doing here? Is the struggle here what I think the struggle here is going to be? Is the problem that you're not getting enough steel ingots? Yeah. So this one's got 12 to work with, so it's kind of okay. This one's got 11. That's good. Before I was over here and they were starved, but what I'm assuming has happened is this is all starting to back up. Yeah, this is all starting to back up, which is fantastic. Yeah, because they can only process so many of these steel beams, which we're not currently using for anything. So once this machine here isn't even running anymore, this one here still is. These are going to keep producing until they kind of back up. At which point, all that excess steel, and it looks like it's already happening, all the excess steel is going to go down the line to where the beams are being manufactured, and the beams can be manufactured in a more steady pace, which I'm happy to see. Is this one's full? This is sort of my personal collection there. Coming out the back here, though, you'll notice I am exporting out the top on this one, and I'm not sure why. Why did I do that? I like to keep things tidy and orderly. Was there a particular reason? Let's see. Well, I mean, aside from the fact that that's, horrible. Aside from that fact, not sure why I was exporting from the top there. I'm sure it made sense at the time to me. I'm sure it made perfect sense at the time. Let's get rid of that. Didn't need to be there. Usually, once you've built these, I like to come through and remove them, because you get a little bit of material back, and it looks a little bit cleaner. Looks a little bit nicer. It looks like it's just floating there. And maybe it's not realistic. You know what? I'll give you that. Should I put it back? Should we put the pole back? I'm not going to. You can't make me. I'm my own independent man. But how are we doing here? Yeah, these are both full. Should we make a third one? Oh, well, this one's not full yet. Yeah, I don't want to have a third one. It just seems unnecessary. But what are we going to do now over at the plastic shop? Obviously, we're going to need to get another oil refinery, potentially. Are we refining oil, or are we're pumping the oil? I think we have to refine it. Maybe? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get an oil refinery, and then maybe we need a constructor. I'm not... I don't know. Make sure that we've got what we need in our inventory here. Oh, we definitely need some concrete, but we're going to try to go fix up some stuff over there and get stuff moving a little bit more fluidly for us. The cool thing about having conveyor belts all over the place is that it makes travel and traversing your world super easy. So even if I don't really have, I don't have a dedicated line for getting from the steel facility over here to the semi-omni facility. But I do have a line for, carrying plastic. I can just ride that on over, so that works out for me. Alrighty, we're going to rob a bit of our own progress to make this happen. We need 4 of these bad boys, so we'll just split this stack off. And we're going to need a few of these here motor majiggers. There we go. That's my Texas vernacular coming out right there. And we're going to grab a couple stacks of concrete just to make sure we can build whatever we may need to build. So what the heck are you? Are you a refinery? You are a refinery, aren't you? Yeah, okay. So we don't need a constructor. We just need to grab ourselves another refinery. If we go down here to production, we got what we needed for that. I don't think I'm going to build a platform for these just yet. At some point we will need to, but that point is just not today. As close as we can, hopefully, without encroaching on its space. I think right there will do it. I just now noticed that there's a little white outlines. I've been playing this game for how long? And there's a little outlines for where people's space is encroaching, and I've only just realized. Now, I said earlier that using this top part here is not a good way to evenly divide up flow rates. However, in this situation where we have such a massive backlog, it should be fine. There's always going to be plenty. So go ahead and create plastic. And speaking of which, how much do you consume? 75 per minute, 30 per minute. Are you overclocked? You're like massively overclocked. Good gosh, let's slow your roll there a bit. So you were producing 75 by yourself. If I have you both producing 45, guess what, folks? That gets us to 90, which is a little bit more, and we're using less power. But also, we need more than that. We need more than a little bit more. We're gonna have to improve greatly here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now each of these is consuming 60. Okay, so we're consuming 120. We're producing 90. That's good. How much are we extracting over here? 240. Good gosh. So we could add more of these. Like I said earlier, it is more power efficient to use multiple as opposed to using lots and lots of speed upgrades. So it could be something to consider doing here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my logistics. There it is. Grab myself a merger, and we'll stick this right here. Connect all these bad boys up, and there we go. That's a slight improvement. That's a slight improvement. But knowing what we can get away with now, knowing that this is pulling out 240, kind of want to try to make it 1-to-1, and I want to get a lot of plastic moving, because even this is not going to be enough. So what do we need to do? We need to go into production. We got to get rid of the constructor, and then an oil pump by itself. How many did I say it was consuming by itself? Did I say 45? What do you do by yourself? I'm going to have to slow you down again so I can, like, make sure. It must have been 30. Yeah, 30. I just realized that the math was just a matter of taking 200% down to 100%. So if one of these can do 30, and we are extracting at 240, that's like, what, 8 of these we can build? I mean, that's going to be really expensive. Yes, some of the items are being automatically produced. Well, I mean, we only need 6 more, because we've already got 2 here. Do we really want to tap into our motors and our heavy modular frames for this, though? Yes, of course we do. I mean, we'd be silly not to. Think of all the time we would be wasting if I went through and I manually manufactured these items, as opposed to taking advantage of the wonderful automated resources we have right here at our doorstep. Why is computers not running at all now? I guess it is. It's just going slow. It's still the plastics. Still, I mean, granted, I don't think the changes we've made to the plastic flow has even been realized here yet, because of how far away it is and how slow items travel on these conveyor belts. We travel very quickly. Items not so much. Are y'all ready for the big reveal? Oh my goodness gracious. Should this be the thumbnail? Hold on, let me get into photo mode. You know what? Before I go into photo mode, I need to get like a smaller object in my hand. I wish you could get rid of the hand. That would be great. This is sort of the best I can do. And then we can middle mouse button. Look at that. That's pretty wild. I don't know if we're going to make that the thumbnail. That looks pretty cool, though. Just kind of gliding along it here. All right. So I haven't actually hooked this in yet, and I imagine it's going to cause an awful surge of power. But we have a pretty decent... I mean, I should have done the maths. I didn't do the maths, but I'm confident that, you know, we're not going to overload the system with this. Yeah, so far so good, you know? What are we looking at here? Okay. Yeah. All right, so these are going to start churning them out. 22.5 per minute. I can't do that off the top of my head. Most of the math in this game is pretty straightforward, but as soon as you add fractions and decimals, my brain goes bye-bye. So we're looking at 22.5 times 8. That's 180, so that's pretty good. I did neglect completely to hook this up into the conveyor belt heading out of town. So I guess I'll do that right now. Ooh, that's horrible. Oh, don't like that. Oh, I'm gonna leave it though. I'm not. No. That cannot be allowed to stand. We're gonna have to revise that. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's have it go from like here to here. And then go down there. And then from there, go hook up. I mean, that's just as bad almost in my opinion, but look at that flow rate. Now, of course, it's going to slow down. Yeah, there we go immediately as soon as the backlog's done. But we are producing substantially more than we were before. And we're not going to overclock all these, because the power strain now would put on the system would be madness, I say. Absolute madness. I need to go check on the power. I wanted to show you all the work that I'd done over there and kind of give you an idea of what I'd done to reach the current level of power production. This is the fastest way to get there. Until I build like a proper... I need to build a conveyor belt all the way over, I guess. I did what I said I was going to do the first time I showed you all this new power system. I was going to basically expand it. So I went out that way, and I duplicated 1/2 of the setup. And so far, so good. We're not running out of fuel, I don't think. I think we're still probably producing fuel in excess, if you want to check. Yeah, I mean, while we're here, we could slow these down a bit if we wanted to. I still don't understand, and maybe I've gotten comments by now. I need to check. I'm still not really sure how this works. Okay, we're taking it down to 1. I thought for sure that I'd worked it out in my head, right? Like, I was sure that I understood that right here, 5 seconds was how long it took to consume a fuel. I guess I could sit here and count. Clearly I was wrong. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, around 8 seconds. So, you know, if it consumes 1 every 8 seconds, let me pull up my calculator. How many of these machines do I have? I think I have 15 of them now. So every 8 seconds we're consuming 100. Wait. No, hold on. Every 8 I did that wrong. Hold on. So we're consuming 15 every 8 seconds. So a minute divided by 8 is 7.5 times 15, so 112 and a half. Which is wait a minute. That's exactly how much we're producing. I didn't even need a calculator for 56.25 times 2. Oh my gosh, that's exactly 112.5. Wow! So we should be 1-to-1 now, potentially. What we should see here is just a nice steady throughput. It should always be at about 100. Well, math there for you, am I right, y'all? They use less power this way. Cool, there's that set up. Let's head back to main base and see if we've killed enough time to hopefully get some more resources constructed and get a little bit closer. I want to get this done. I want to get this done before the update is pushed to the main version. I know, the update's out. I can get it if I want to get the in-development build. I don't. I want to wait for it to come, you know, to the full version and completely shrug my world over. But I want to have this project done before that happens because I don't want to start a new world. I want to just fix this one, and it's going to take a while to get it back up and running, which is why I want to finish this work first. I want to get all of this done so that when everything breaks in the next episode, we don't have to worry about it because we've got the next level of things unlocked from the space sky elevator. You know, I want to get that done and then not worry about the whole setup being broken when we log into the new patch. Also, there is a lot more along this route here than there ever was before, so that's great. Love seeing the amount of plastic we've got moving forward. And hopefully, when we get up here, we'll find that the machine is no longer starving for it. I mean, I think it takes 18 per cycle, and it does 2... Oh, how long does it... Does it cycle twice per minute, or does it cycle every 2 minutes? We'll have to find out when we get up there. We're about to hit just a wall of the blue stuff. That's from the backlog. That doesn't count? Well, I mean, it just doesn't make a realistic... We shouldn't set our expectations for how well the rest of this is going to run based on that. Also, we're out ahead of it now. We're way out ahead of it. So I expect the machine to be down by the time we get up here because it just hasn't been getting plastic lately. Here's a nice batch. How are we doing, by the way, on steel pipage? It is still building up, so I guess my theory on that is good. This is full. I think it was full before. Hopefully that's filling up now. This is still filling up, so we're good. You know, the changes I made are working. It looks like we're not hurting for anything else. This also uses plastic. See, I didn't even notice that before. As long as we're getting a steady flow, though. Maybe we should build 2 of these. Again, it's all hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. You know, if I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. You know, or I wish that I knew now. No, I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I could start this whole thing over again. I mean, I'm not saying that you could ever be true. I just don't want to know how it ends. That's a song. Perfect. Okay, we've got 21 plastic. Is it going to get up to... We got to have like 18 by the time this is done. Also, 1 computer every 2.5 minutes. No, 1 computer 2.594 per minute. So we are making 2.5 per minute. Plastic is... we're still waiting. There comes a little bit. There comes a batch there. But we're still waiting on a consistent flow. Here they come. Here they come. So this is the new consistent flow rate that we're looking at here. This is about what it's going to be like moving forward. This is the amount of plastic we can expect. I didn't realize 6 were going down to there. And as you can see, it's going to keep that lower one stocked for sure, but that's fine. We need those circuit boards anyway. You can't, you know, you got to have circuit boards for this thing. So, you know, it doesn't matter. We have a lot of circuit boards, though. And we have a lot of plastic now. We've got a lot of plastic. This is good. This is good to see. So, if anything, we could increase this a little bit. The circuit boards is a problem now, though, because we have, consume just shy of 25 per minute. How many are we producing? Fully maxed out, 25 per minute, so there's no benefit to speeding that up. Yes, there's a backlog of circuit boards in there, but once it runs out, where are we going to be? What are we looking at here? Modular frames is our limiting factor. Unfortunately, looks like everything else is fine. If we could get modular frames going a little bit faster, we could actually speed this one up, I reckon. Let's do that. Let's give it a little bit of a boost, because we've got a ton of screws. We have a whole facility of screws basically dedicated to coming over here. We just got to speed up modular frames. Now, we're gonna go over here to the ironworks, and we're gonna get our hands a little dirty in the ironworks, and we're gonna possibly break everything. What was that? Doesn't look Donald Duck. Possibly. Donald Duck. I can't do a Donald Duck voice. Yeah, I can do Goofy, kind of. I can't really do Goofy well. Oh, well, Mickey Mouse I'm a little bit better at, but not by much. You know, I basically get the tone, but I can't get the exact cadence and sound. Is this just going constantly? What is going on here with these? Okay, good. This is slowed down, which means that should be full now. Is this full? This is steady. This is steady. We could speed this up if we wanted to get more rotors. I didn't really see that we were hurting for rotors, though. We're hurting for the cubes. Tell me your story, pal. Reinforced iron plates, really? That's what we're having trouble with here. Well, where else are reinforced iron plates going? So they're all going to there. Well, that means we need more iron plates. So there's not really anything we can do about that unless we speed up the... Oh, I remember this mess now. Yeah. You want to get faster? Okay, so it's consuming 30 per minute. Well, guess what? We're producing 30 per minute. This needs to be reconfigured. We could make this a lot more efficient now that we know. I mean, look, this is still mining up 120 per minute, even though, as far as I can tell, we aren't actually consuming that many. This is hooked up to 3 machines, and these 3 machines are consuming 30, so that's 90. So we could add a 4th machine up here if we wanted to. I mean, we don't really have space for it unless I could wedge it in right here. But then where's the iron going to go, right? Okay. We're going to do some speed upgrades. I'm not happy about it. You're not happy about it. It's going to consume more power than it's worth. But until I find the time to come over here and, you know, overhaul this, we're just going to upgrade each one of these to 150%. I think I might be done doing big facilities like this, though. I think instead of having facilities to manufacture every single iron object, which just get big and complicated, we might follow the sort of system that I've been using recently with the reworked copper facility and with the nail facility, where we just have individual systems set up. So we have one individual area for a machine like this. You know, you have your miner, and then all of its produce is then processed to a single end product, and then that end product, that's its facility, and then it's shipped off to a combiner facility somewhere. But all of these are now 45, 45... 45, 45. Good. So that's going to produce some more plates for us over here. And we should see this actually now, yeah, be able to maintain that 7.5 reinforced iron plates. Before it wasn't actually doing it because there weren't enough iron plates. But hopefully now it is. Each one of these is consuming 30 iron plates per minute. So that's 60 total. And between these 3 machines, we are producing... 135? 45? 9, 1. That's too many, right? So if we have 135 to spare, we might as well get these up to using that much too. So that'll take us up to 45 consumption per minute. And this will get us up to, between the 2 machines, I should say, 90 per minute. No, 40. Really? Oh, I didn't realize it was already being sped up. Okay, so that's doing 40 per minute. That's doing 40. That gets us to 80. But unless I'm wrong, we're producing 135 per minute. Right, let me do the calculator. Let me get it out here. Let's see. Yeah, 135. 45 times 3. So we should be getting enough iron plates to go a little bit faster with these. I mean, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of power. This is sort of necessary, though. At least, again, this isn't a perfect setup. This isn't a permanent setup. This setup is to get us where we need to be before the update. The projects that I want done before the update. That's what we're doing here. Right? Are we all in agreement? Good. Glad to hear it. So this gets us up to 100 per minute, which means we're still going to have an excess of plates, but I don't mind, you don't mind, no one minds. At least we should. What was that? Anyone else see that? Anyone else notice that? How it didn't go? There it goes. Now it's going. Is it going to build back up fast enough, though? Is my math just entirely broken on this? Am I wrong in every conceivable way? I shouldn't be. How no, wait, was I looking at production and not... Oh, I'm an idiot. They're consuming 45 per minute. They're producing 22.5 per minute. So they're only producing 66.5. Or 66.66. They're producing the devil's number. So let's lower back down consumption. Let's get them back down to about 30 apiece. In other words, right around where we had them. Well, not quite exactly right around where we had them. That ought to do it right there. So it's 35. I mean, we really want to get it down to 33.3, but can we get it right on that marker? Because if so, I mean, it's such a waste. It's such a waste of a power shard to go that little bit more. But I mean, can you say... Oh, look, we're close. Can you say that... it's going to be worth it. Because it's not permanent. That's the thing we all have to remember when we walk away from this, is that nothing we do is forever. You know? Okay. 33.2 is as good as I can do. If I go up to 167, it's going to take us to 33.4. So we should now be about 1-to-1. Just around, which is what we want to see. And that's great. So that should be moving along a lot more swimmingly now. It's a little bit better than where it was. Because before, it was set to do 7.5 per minute, but there was not enough iron plates to actually do that. Now there's enough iron plates to do it and actually do 8.3. So we're better off now than when we first walked over here, which is fantastic news, which means you should actually be able to produce 4 per minute, which you weren't doing before. So you consume 12 per minute. And what did I say we were producing over here? We're producing 8.3. So let's see, 8.3 times 2 is 16.6. I guess I didn't need a calculator for that. I could have done that one in my head. Let's get this one up to consuming 16. If we can get up to 16.5, that would be swell. So we're at 12. So we get like 125. That'll get us to... Is my head wrong? Is my head cannon wrong? That'll get us to 15. Yeah, it was wrong. Also, I just said head cannon to refer to my understanding of math. You know, you have head cannon about, you know, things that don't make sense in Star Wars, things you don't like in Harry Potter, math when you do it wrong. You just have your head cannon. So we're doing 5.52. A lot of shards have been wasted today. But we can come collect them when the time comes for me to redo all of this again in the near future. Probably, you know what, we'll probably wait until after the update so I can see how everything changes and is affected. And then when I have to adapt everything to the new game, to the new version, and get it all working with the new version, then we'll worry about making the changes necessary to get it working better. You consume how many of these? 20 per minute. We're producing producing 5. What have we done? So there's no reason for this to be overclocked. If it's only going to produce, like, let's just get it down to match, I guess. Where does that put us? 10. So we're still not even, we're not producing enough for it to make 2 per minute. We're not producing enough for it to make 2 per, it's going to be running at half speed. We're going to be producing 1 of these a minute. It'll take 1,000 minutes to produce. Are you joking with me right now? Wait, hold on. Wait, some of them aren't all going to this machine. Don't we also have to make, where? Are we making the heavy modular frames too? Where's that happen? Where's that happening at? Where was that being produced? Over here? Motors, rotors, I think right here. This might be the one. No. Am I crazy? Aren't we having to, like, manufacture those too? Where's that happening? Maybe nothing actually needs those. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe we're not. Wait, no, hold on. Oh, no, that's what this is doing. Oh, you get my point, though. You get it. It's 1,000. It's 1,000. It's going to take 16 hours to produce 1,000 of these. Where are we at right now? Oh, well, we don't have that far to go, fortunately. We've got, what is this, 850? Great. Well, 840, 800, not even. Hold on. No, these are stacks of 50. Well, oh, okay, then. Well, then that means we've got 444, everyone. Isn't that lovely? 444. We're not even halfway there yet, and already we're running into some serious issues. And this isn't going much better, if I'm quite honest with you. This is going quite pitifully. At least we are actually maintaining the production of 2.494 computers per minute. That's something, at least, being limited as we are by the production speeds of their chipset makeup. We can't really go much faster unless we build a second one, which I reckon we could. But then, you know what kind of problems we'd be running into here, lads. We'd be running into problems where we ain't got enough wire. Well, actually, no, I reckon we would have enough. What is this accent? It's going, well, wonky. His accent's gone wonky ever since I started it. It's been changing. It's been moving all around the world. And it's just terrible, and I don't like it. And quite frankly, I mean, I wouldn't be blaming you if you was offended by it. It's not a great accent, I'll confess. But what the heck is going on here? I don't understand. I wonder what am I supposed to do? We're gonna have to make. We gotta make more modular frames. That's just all there is to it. We've actually got enough motors if we wanted to submit the motors. If we wanted to, we could submit all the motors and just be done with it. Is there anything else we can unlock that's going to speed this up? Well, you know what we could do? Well, no, we can't do that either. We could go back to the other iron taps that we've got and rework them to produce even more We might have to speed everything up a bit more. What are we looking at here? Gas masks. It's not going to benefit us any. It's not going to help us at all. You know what? I've got more speed upgrades, and it's not permanent. It's just until we get this done. Just until we get this done, everyone. They're at full power! They're producing 37.5, 112, I think, and a half per minute, and then these are consuming 100 per minute. See, there's a bit of overlap. There's a bit too much, but they're producing. They're producing 12.5 times 2. That's 25, right? Yeah, 12 point. Yeah, that's 25, which means we can boost this up a little bit more. We can boost this bad boy up, and we can get this bad boy going a little bit faster too. See, we're making 8 per minute now. We're up to 8 per minute. Still too slow. But what are we gonna do? We're gonna overclock is a little bit more to try to get that right on 25. And even with that producing 8 per minute, which is an improvement, it's still not really enough to keep up with the demand of 10. It needs 10 per minute. Which means we might as well underclock this. We're wasting power on it. We might as well turn her down to, what did we say? We're making 8 per minute? Turn this bad boy down to 80%. You know, let's get those consumption costs down. All right, I did the math, and we're looking at about 4.6 hours now. If we actually produce them at 1.6 per minute. And you know what? I'm going to give you my math on this. All right, so we got 1,000. We got 1,000 minus 451. That leaves us with 549. And we are producing 1.6 per minute. So divided by 1.6, that gives us 343 minutes divided by 60 minutes in an hour. That's 5.71 hours? Huh. I'm not sure how the 7-1 goes into that. It's not really how hours work, but you get the general idea. We've got time to kill before this is going to be finished. Computers are catching up, though. Are they? How many do you produce? You produce 1.6. You produce 2.5. Yeah, in theory, computers should be catching up, but when I look in here, we have a lot more modular frames than we do computers. Why is that? What is slowing you down? You're not hurting for anything. You seem to be... Oh, gosh. I mean, aside from the circuit boards, we could speed it up again, but we can't quite because of the circuit boards, which is unfortunate. Well, folks, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, what do you do now? What do you do at this point? I have no idea. I'm not going to leave the game running for 5 hours. I'm going to have to do something in that time. Maybe I'll go back over to my other iron facility. Maybe I'll just go play around there. Ironworks 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I will continue to further refine that. I mean, it's working out great for the nails. Actually, the nails are full. So we did good work there. We could actually probably limit some of the production now, because I think we've got a horrible, horrible excess. Maybe once this fills up, we'll cut the machines down a bit. And then, you know what, this is actually, you know, I talked about breaking it down to where you have a single miner, and then you have its own little facility where everything is at like 100% efficiency. And, you know, that's essentially what we've done here, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. If we wanted to overclock that bad boy, that miner there, we could do that and get it to 200% and then have a perfectly duplicated facility right next to this one. Is that more iron up there? Is that more iron right up there? Are you kidding me? How did I not find this before? What is this over here? That's quartz right there, I think. Yeah, if we wanted to get some quartz. Is this more iron, though? It is. It's more iron ore, everyone. We could do a lot over here. If we wanted to just have another facility that we built up exclusively. An exclusive facility for the production of freaking plates. Where are they? These bad boys. Reinforced iron plates. It's just plates and screws. We've already got a screw facility right here. If we built another one, another dedicated facility up here just for plates... Huh. I mean, it's an idea. And then we can have it all shipped back to this facility over here and have them sort of added to the coffers. It's an idea. It's something to consider. Maybe I'll do that between videos. Get some sort of system rigged up to produce increased speeds. We'll see. Hey, you know what, though? Thank you, folks, for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. God bless you. I'll see you later. Bye, yo.